guys laid the groundwork in 75 and had the contest, and Randy, I was on the Randy tour in 76. So we went to South Africa and then to Brazil in 76. They had the contest. It still wasn't part of the pro tour, but it was, I guess it was the second year of this pro event in Brazil. And I think Pepe won. Did Pepe won in 76?
Jeff Crawford comes second with my board, you know, and this start the IPS 1976.
At the end of that year, they went, well, let's take all these contests and make it a world tour.
Yeah.
And PT was the leading,
Champ.
and they said he's the first world champ, 76.
And I used to live in his house in Cambland. Lived me, PT, Ian Cairns, Mark Warren, and Peru. And Ian Cairns come to be ASP director, no?
Yes.
Later.
Yeah.
PT world champion, Mark Warren, Quicksilver CO, no?
Yeah.
So good house, huh?
Yeah.
But I tell you, boy, was a fucking crazy house, man. You know, good time, you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes everybody have the shelf for the food, you know.
Yeah.
First shelf, Ian, and then the guys eat my food. I don't like it. So we did some rock and roll, you know what I mean? And,
So it was probably 77, 78. And Ian and I we were, you know, it was Australia, Hawaiian, you know, headbutt in the water. And I was in the heat at Haleiwa, and he paddled behind me right when I was taking off and took my wave, and I had to pull back and let him. I'm like, fuck, is that, is that how you do it? So then he was paddling for one, and I slipped behind him. And I stood up right behind him, and he stood up, he looked at me, and he bear hug tackled me over the falls. And then the judges like, was that paddlers? Oh, what happened there? They didn't see it. They didn't call, interfere, nothing. But he bear hugged me over the falls.
Ian was heavy.
Yeah, he was.
Ian was.
He was gnarly.
Yeah,
and he was good. He won a lot of events.
Yeah, in Sunset he was good. Yeah. You know? PT had a good setup in a way.
Yeah.
He know how to compete well. No.
Yeah.
He was
always in position.
Yeah.
And
catch good waves. You know. And Mark Water was a great surfer too, as a gentleman, like you, like Sean. Huh? Like Sean was a great guy too. Huh?
Yeah.
Who was the best surfer? Well, not the best, one of the best surfer about this time in Sunset.
At Sunset back then, you know, we were still hearing about the bottom turn of BK, Barry Kanaipuni, Hackman, Eddie and Clyde Aikau in the early days of Sunset. The Lolly brothers, those
Booby Jones,
Sam Hawk, Booby Jones. Those were the local. Al Chapman, Those were the guys that ruled at Sunset.
You guys who watching us, if you like our program, Aloha Podcast, go on YouTube, subscribe, give for your friends, because great stories, real stories, no bullshit here, Aloha Podcast, you know. And it's so good to remember and put the stories alive, you know.
Yeah.
And it's great, you know. And what's the impression you had about Brazil? Because before people didn't like, but I think Brazil at this time, if you know the right people, you know where to go, it's a good country. Do you feel?
No, visiting Rio was that was, you know, a really enriching part of traveling. It was just the culture of the Brazilians. And I mean, there was some bad eggs, but the good guys were great, and to hang with the right guys and go, and the restaurants and the lifestyle of Rio was unreal, and the surfers were good. But back then, there was no real top Brazilians on the tour.
Yeah.
Pepe won that one contest, but that was kind of a fluke. And then, but the Brazilians were starting to brew. They were seeing the surfing, and we didn't know what was coming from Brazil. Back then it was sort of the Aussies and the Hawaiians and South Africa were the three leaders. And then Brazil just snuck in and just...
Yeah. The Waimea 5000 was good because bring Brazil for the world tour and give it visibility, you know. And then didn't have, was starting the world tour, the Brazil wasn't so good, but later on we're gonna talk about that because now they're changed. Huh? And what you like more about Brazil? The girls? Now you married, I know, but at the time you was...
There was some good times, I can't get into details, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I agree with you. You married today and have 2 kids, huh?
Three.
3 kids?
3 boys,
All right, what are their names?
Cody, Casey, Kyler. 3 boys, all with K's.
All right.
Yeah.
Strong name, huh? I like my sons Patrick and Eric. Strong, like
Yeah.
like easy to talk,
Yeah.
One place that besides Laniakea that I love is Haleiwa. Haleiwa is a difficult wave, huh?
It's not one of my favorites. I've competed well and had a lot of competitions there, but you're always paddling in that current, and there are some good tubes, but it's not really a great tube spot. But it is a good performance wave, and it can be a lot of fun. I just don't surf it that much.
And I surfed a couple of days there. One time I went a longboard contest that Bonga won.
Yeah.
Man, what's the name of the left there? It's not. Here's the Haleiwa, the left outside, big one.
Avalanche.
Avalanche.
Yeah.
It was connecting.
Connecting, yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ. And it was a contest. If it wasn't a contest, I wouldn't go out, you know. I was stormy, I see the jet ski, and then go my heat, I get a wave, I need one to go for next round. I'm glad I didn't go for it, you know. I saw guys world champs say, oh, I'm glad I lost, you know, because
Haleiwa, it pulls you to the peak, and it's big, and I've been looking at it the last couple of years because we go towing usually when it's big Haleiwa, but there's like 12 footers that just peak up. I've seen guys, the young crew surfing it, just like blowing my mind how good they surf it out there and how tricky it is and easy to get caught.
Yeah, you know, you keep paddling.
Yeah.
I have a story in Haleiwa, was during the surf contest. The final was Eddie Cow and Joe Nilsson. You was there that day?
I don't remember.
Hey, it was big and gnarly, you know.
Yeah.
They surf in Hawaii and Australia, so they want Eddie won, but the Australian Nilsson finally won, you know.
Yeah.
And between the heat, before the final, I bought a board from Hackman, a 86 Mike Eaton. Do you remember Mike Eaton?
Yeah, oh yeah.
And they let, this time you could do that, not you can do. I went out and I didn't know, I think it was 73, I didn't know about the corner, I didn't know it. Man, I fucking lost lost the board. I think I'm gonna die, bro. You know, and no jet ski, no lifeguard. Hard time. I have good memories. No, when I surf there, I look, you know, before to go. You know.